Hey y'all, welcome back to The Board Journalist. So today's story takes us back to Texas, Dallas to be exact. Dallas is known for its iconic skyline, the Bank of America Plaza, the Union Tower, and it's also home to the Texas State Fair and the Dallas Cowboys. But on March 7th, 2023, Dallas was in the headlines for a much darker reason. That's the day Gary Green, a 51-year-old black man, was executed at the state penitentiary in Huntsville, Texas. His execution came nearly 14 years after he murdered both his wife and his stepdaughter in their Dallas home. In 2009, Green's wife, Lavetta Armstead, who was just 32 years old at the time, wrote him a letter. In it, she said she needed to do what was best for her and her kids, and she was annulling their marriage. Green did not take the news well. He wrote his own letter in response, blaming Lavetta and her children. He said they had a plot against him, that they bought out the monster in him. In his words, 5 lives would end that day, including his own.
Police tell us Gary Green was waiting here at this house for his wife. She'd recently filed for divorce. Police say as soon as she walked into this house, she was attacked, and then so were her kids. Yellow police tape surrounds Lavetta Armstead's one-story brick home. On this day, her distraught sister comes by the house, hoping there was a mistake.
Wait a minute, what happened? I just got a phone call. They told me to get now.
The DISD substitute teacher had just gone home Monday night with her 6-year-old daughter, Jazzman Montgomery. She had dropped off her 2 sons at church. Here at home, police say Gary Green stabbed her and then turned on his stepdaughter.
She was a very kind lady and she did not deserve it.
Green then went to church to pick up his 9 and 12-year-old stepsons. Back at the house, he stabbed the younger boy in the stomach. His older brother was not hurt.
Jared later told investigators that he begged for their lives. He said, "We're too little to die. We won't tell anyone what you did." Those words may have saved their lives. Neighbors were shocked. They described Green as a loving father figure. He was often seen outside with the kids, riding bikes, playing in the yard, and no one suspected what was happening behind the closed doors. But there were warning signs. Just a month before the attack, Green had been admitted to Timberland Psychiatric Hospital in Dallas. He was released after 4 days and misdiagnosed. He was also prescribed antipsychotic medication but had to stop taking it because he couldn't afford the refills. In 2018, Green's attorney appealed his sentence, claiming that he was intellectually disabled and had no true intent to commit capital murder. They brought in mental health experts who testified that he showed signs of schizophrenia, but both the U.S. Supreme Court and lower appeals courts rejected his appeal. Legally, the High Court prohibits the execution of people with intellectual disabilities, but not those with serious mental illness. In Texas, intellectual disability is often defined by IQ score with a cutoff around 70. Advocates, including the ACLU, argue that people with intellectual disabilities face a higher risk of wrongful convictions. They may not fully understand the legal system or how to defend themselves, and they may even give false confessions just to please investigators. Gary Green also became involved in a legal fight over the state's use of expired lethal injection drugs. Texas has extended the use-by dates of its execution drugs, and inmates argue that this can make the process more painful, violating the 8th Amendment's ban on cruel and unusual punishment. And here I have to stop and pause and say I don't care. What about the cruel and unusual punishment inflicted on the victims? I just don't think it's something that me as a mother I could forgive, especially when someone took an innocent child away from me. I just don't think I could forgive. Let's look at this interview with Ray Montgomery Jr., who is the biological father of Jazzman Montgomery. He is preparing to drive to Huntsville to see this execution.
Murders of his wife and 6-year-old stepdaughter.
Gary Green stabbed his wife nearly 24 times and drowned his stepdaughter, Jazzman Montgomery, in the bathtub of their Oak Cliff home. 2 other children in the home survived. Fox 4's Sean Labb spoke to the little girl's biological father hours ago as he prepared to drive to Huntsville to watch the execution. Sean.
Yeah, Heather, Ray Montgomery Jr. says he's forgiven the man who killed his baby girl and her mother. Now he uses his voice to speak to whoever he can about domestic violence and its heartbreak.
I'm not glorifying the event, but I do feel like it's justice for the way that Jazzman had to die. The way that Lavetta was murdered, I feel like it's finally justice.
Ray Montgomery Jr.'s daughter, Jazzman, was 6 years old September 21st, 2009, when she was drowned in a bathtub. Her mother, Lavetta Armstead, stabbed to death. Jazzman's 9-year-old brother also stabbed but survived. Another child in the home threatened but unharmed. The attacker? Then 39-year-old Gary Green, Jazzman's stepfather, her mother's husband.
Gary Green did not agree to the annulment of his and Lavetta's marriage, and so he plotted out a plan to kill all 5 of them.
David Kunkel was Dallas police chief.
The 2 boys were able to, we believe, talk Mr. Green out of killing them. He then left the location, according to his statements, took an overdose of medications trying to kill himself.
Green was convicted and sentenced to death in 2010. Have you forgiven him?
I forgive Gary Green. How can I be a Christian and I live a Christian life, but I don't forgive Gary Green?
And Montgomery does not believe Green's documented mental illness caused him to kill.
I absolutely think he knew what he was doing. The way he plotted out the whole event that day.
Tribute Montgomery's memories of his baby girl, a book her classmates made to deal with their feelings. Her kindergarten graduation cap and gown, sandals for her little 6-year-old feet. Now, Ray Montgomery speaks everywhere he can about domestic violence.
My message is that I do not want this to happen to any other female or any other family. I wouldn't wish this feeling that I have had to deal with the past 12, 13 years on anyone.
So from trial through all of the appeals, much has been made about Gary Green's mental illness and whether his intellectual disabilities caused him to commit these murders. So far, the answer has been no. Unless there is a last-minute appeal, he's set for execution sometimes after 6 p.m.
Before his execution, Green gave a lengthy final statement. Vetta, Jared, Ray, I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I apologize for all the harm I have caused you and your family. We ate together, we broke bread together, we laughed and cried together as a family. I'm sorry I failed you. There's nothing I can do. I'm not just saying that because I'm laying on this gurney. We were all one and I broke that bond. Right or wrong, I took not 1 but 2 people that we all loved, and I had to live with that while I was here. I ask that you forgive me, not for me, but for y'all. I'm fixing to go home and y'all are going to be here. I want to make sure you don't suffer. You have to forgive me to heal and move on. Sorry, JT. I always loved you and I told you I will never say goodbye, but this is goodbye. There's nothing I can do to bring your mom and sister back. One thing about the man I used to be is that I never stopped loving y'all. See y'all on the other side. God bless you. I'm done, Warden. Gary Green was pronounced dead at 7:07 p.m. on Tuesday, March 7, 2023. This is one of those cases that forces us to ask, where do justice and mental illness intersect? Should a serious mental illness change the punishment, or is accountability still the bottom line? I feel that he knew what he was doing and he couldn't handle the rejection. Yes, the mental illness escalated the outcome, but I still feel like you have to be somewhat coherent to carry out this type of murder. Let me know what you think in the comments. Was justice served, or does this case say more about the failures of the mental health and legal systems? Thanks for watching. I'm the board journalist. I'll see you next time.